Hello guys, welcome back, and yes, I'm finally back from, well, from all the schooling that I had to deal with. So, anyway, for now I'm gonna be making 2 videos today, mostly because, well, I'm gonna be busy with school once again, but either way, yeah. So, welcome back guys, and today we're gonna be talking about Hero of Remnant. So yeah, let us begin. So, after the whole events of the initiation, you would finally see Izuku and the rest of the soon-to-be teams finally arrive at the auditorium. Or, yeah, I think that's the auditorium. If I'm wrong, oh yeah, that's the amphitheater. Yeah, amphitheater, I meant. So, as everybody else is basically like sitting around doing their own thing, as Ospin is announcing the teams, one of them being that of Team Cardinal, which, let's just say Izuku doesn't really trust them, mostly because he can feel their negative emotions. As after Team Cardinal's leader was, revealed, specifically Cardin Winchester, which, let's just say Izuku doesn't really like at all. Especially since he saw him earlier fighting with a Faunus. And let's just say some words were exchanged, let's just say that. So, after that, a new team would basically come into the picture. Specifically, the blonde-haired boy from last time, which he met last time in, the initiation itself, which he found out that apparently his name was Jean, including the famous pirate Nikos, which he met last time. But he honestly doesn't know her at all. Or at least I think so. It's been a while since I actually made a video, but either way, as you would also see the two girls, specifically Lei Ren and Nora Valkyrie, which apparently they were named, and they together are now named Team Juniper. And apparently the leader is Jean, which he was surprised. As after that, the next team would come up. As instead of having 4 letters in the acronym, instead it has 5. As Izuku would say, wait, what? As he would look over, and after seeing it, apparently, this is now Team RWBY, consisting of Ruby Rose, Waishni, Izuku Ironwood, Blake Balladonna, and finally Yang Xiaolong, which Izuku was surprised, as after our boy Osbin said it, he would say this. Well then, it seems that all of you are confused. Yes, I'm decided to make the first ever 5-man team, he would say. As, after saying that, he would say this. And so, because of it, we're going to be letting these 5 individuals be in our class. Especially since one of them being that of a colleague of mine's son, named Izuku Ironwood, will be joining us today. Or for the rest of the 3 years in Beacon, he would say. As everybody would look towards Izuku, noticing his, wait for a second. Noticing his, blackish, whitish hair with green, accents around it. As after doing so, Izuku would say this. Well, this is certainly unexpected, he would say to himself, as one of them would say this. Specifically our boy Zeldris, as he would say this. Yes, no kidding, he would say. After saying that, one of them would say this. Specifically our boy Esterosa. Because, well, Esterosa is kind of my favorite. Mostly because of his commandment is super overpowered. But either way, he would say this. Yes, I do have to agree, but I can certainly see the benefits, he would say, as he would just, grin inside of Izuku's head, as he would say this to himself. Please do not say that, he would say. As after just sighing, Izuku would look towards the team as he would start walking up the stage with them, as Osmond would once again say, and for your team leader, it's Ruby Rose, he would say. As, Izuku would just be surprised as well, thinking that he would be the team leader. Well, considering that he's pretty much strong, but at the same time, he would think actually, that would be a great idea, considering her, let's just say, not really good impressions last time. It can certainly help her in her, well, antisocial behavior, he would think to himself. As after saying that, he would look towards, their new team leader, Ruby Rose, as one of them, specifically Weiss, would be mad at her for some reason. And after that, they would be told to leave and go to their dormitories. And after that, Izuku would start getting ready all of his things, including his bags, to go inside of the dormitory, where he's gonna be staying with 4 girls. Remember, 4 girls, 1 him. Oh boy, this is definitely gonna be an interesting one. Anyway, continuing on. So, when Izuku and the rest of Team RWBY arrive at their new dormitory, Izuku would say this. So, how are we going to sleep? He would say, as one of them would say this. Specifically, our girl Weiss would say, actually, I'm not sure, she would say, as one of them specifically would say this. Well, I mean, we can certainly sleep on the floor, so as Izuku would say this. I guess I would be sleeping on the floor. You 4 deserve to, sleep on my bed instead, he would say. Besides, I'm actually pretty used to sleeping on the floor, since I sometimes go camping with Dad sometimes, he would say. As one of them would say this, specifically our girl Yang. As she would say, wait, you go camping with, well, your dad, as in General Ironwood? As he would say this, yeah, it's actually pretty surprising if you get to know him. I mean, he's not always the serious general type. I mean, he basically cares for me, he would say. As one of them would say this, specifically, wait for a second, god dang it. Specifically, Yang would say this. Huh, anyway, I mean, we can certainly let you sleep on the floor. As one of them would say this. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but still, she would say, specifically Weiss. As one of them would say this, specifically Yang. Oh, are you perhaps wanting him to sleep on your bed? She would say with a, sly smile and a raised eyebrow, as she would say this. What? No, I mean, we are planning to, she would say, as she would twirl her fingers, as Izuku would say this. I mean, I'm not really into that type of thing. And trust me, I would probably take over the bed easily, he would say. As after saying that, one of them would say this. I mean, as team leader, it is sort of my deal to do with this, so, I guess it's okay for you to sleep in one of our beds together. I mean, as one of them would say this, specifically Yang. Wait, I didn't know that my sister was that bold, she would say, as she would give her, a raised eyebrow even more, as she would say this. Yang, as she would basically be a blushing mess. As Izuku would say this. Please stop this, Yang, he would say, as one of them specifically, Esterosa would say this. Ooh, it seems that your fantasy is starting to come to life, Izuku, he would say. As Izuku would say, but Esterosa, don't you dare say it, he would say. As one of them would say this, specifically Zeldris. As he would say, please, brother, do not encourage this. Besides, he's just he's not into that type of thing. Yet, he would say. As Esterosa would say this. Whatever. Anyway, I think we should probably get some sleep. I'm already getting bored by the second, he would say. As after saying that, one of them, specifically Galland, would say this. Yes, I totally agree. I've been wanting a fight for a while, and none of these people are even getting close to our power, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. I mean, I agree, but at least we're not going to be dealing with anything too dangerous. Until maybe her, he would say. As one of them would say this. Specifically, Gloxinia. Not... Actually, is his name Gloxinia? It's been a while since let me just check. Yeah, Gloxinia. Yeah, that's his name. So, after that, they would decide to, finally get some sleep. As while Izuku is preparing his bed while the others are basically sitting at, their own beds, Izuku would say this. Anyway, good night everybody, he would say, as all of them would say goodnight to each other. And so, everybody would instantly fall asleep. So, the next day, we currently see Izuku waking up as he would start changing into his new beacon uniform. It was pretty early in the morning, like somewhere about 5, somewhere that time frame, as after Izuku changing into his clothes, he would look like this. As Izuku would wear something like this. As after doing so, he would start getting ready to leave with the rest of his team, but before he can, he would hear the sound of noise crashes and people basically scrambling to do something. After, hearing that, obviously he would run in and would say, "What the heck is happening?" But before he could answer anything, we would look up and would see the rest of his teammates either basically struck up into the air, or some of them into a pile of, basically, limbs. As you would say this. Alright, I don't even want to ask, but what happened here, he would say. As they would explain that they were trying to decorate their room. Clearly still early in the morning. As in early, I mean they're going to be late for class. Or at least soon to be late for class. But before he can actually, before Izuku can do anything, he would hear the sound of people also running out or moving out of the their dorms, I meant, to basically go to their first class. As Izuku would say this. Everybody get ready, we need to go to class now, he would say. I'll be waiting outside. Actually, I'm gonna be going to class anyway, he would say. As after saying that, everybody would, or at least his teammates would start getting ready to go now. Basically running out of the hallway while Izuku's already getting there already. While Izuku's basically roaming through the halls, he would hear one of his inner voices, specifically our boy Droll would say this. I wonder what the first class will be, he would say. As he would say this. Well, apparently it's going to be with Mr. Port. Apparently he's going to be the history / combat teacher, he would say. Not history teacher, but more like, general studies, basically. Or at least somewhere in that frame. I don't really know what teacher he is again. So, after saying that, Droll would say this. I see. He would just, be thinking, as when he arrived there, before he can actually go in, he would be slammed in the back by the rest of his teammates. As when, the door opened, all of them would be slammed into the ground. Izuku in a pile of basically just like women. As after that, Port would say this. It seems that Team RWBY has finally arrived, he would say. As Izuku would look up and would see. Yeah, I decided to go for this picture. I couldn't help myself. Oh, god damn it. Anyway, I don't know, but I love this. I adore this picture of Port. Anyway, continuing on. So, after Port says that, every single member of Team RWBY would basically go to their seats as they would see, Team Juniper basically waving at them. As after that, the class would start. And so, this is where I'm going to be ending off this episode. So, stay tuned because I'm also going to be making a second episode, as in the sequel to this episode, basically. So, basically the next part of, Hero and Remnant. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. So, yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!